We kick off the fall art season,
highlighting a ton of events,
including the big anniversary galas and more.
All in this special edition of About Towne.
Hello everyone and welcome to About Towne. I'm Derrick Thompson.
And I'm Cathy Whiteman, and I am thrilled to welcome Derrick back to the show. Now, I'm going to spill the beans on something. In addition to the wonderful work that Derrick does here with us on About Towne in his role as editor of City Spectrum, he is also, wait for it, a college professor. Derrick, tell us a little bit about how classes are going.
You're absolutely right. I teach communications and interpersonal relations at Northwood University. We're at week 3, and we're already talking about salary negotiation and how to handle yourself on interviews. So,
wow.
Classes are going great. They better keep paying attention.
Well, they've got a great professor. So glad you could be here.
Thanks for saying that, and it's always good to be here.
And glad that you could join us for the scoop on just about everything on the fall schedule as we kick off Irving's art season.
And just so you don't miss out, Scott Churchill returns with news from the USA Film Festival and other fall film highlights.
As always, we invite you to email us. Let us know about stories you'd like to see and events you'd like to promote.
So please email us at ictn@cityofirving.org.
We'll kick off this special edition of the show with news on the Irving Symphony Orchestra's 2015-2016 season. And what a great way to kick off a special edition of the show. Hector Guzman, music director and conductor for the Irving Symphony, and president of the symphony, Marguerite Korkmaz. I am so glad to see you guys.
Thank you so much.
As always.
Thank you.
So, Marguerite, this is a big year for you guys. You're into your second half century now, yes?
Yes, 53 years consecutives.
Wow.
Yes, and
wow.
We're very excited about this season. It's very special.
All right.
Well, tell us about the season premiere, Mr. Hector.
Well, we start on October 10th with an all Tchaikovsky concert. You know, there are a few composers that you can make a whole evening of, but Tchaikovsky is one of them. Another one would be Beethoven, you know, something like that, or a Mozart. But Tchaikovsky is so romantic. And we do outstanding pieces, March Slav, the Capriccio Italian, but the big piece is the very famous piano concerto, performed also by a Russian pianist. Elena Bach studied at the Moscow Conservatory. She lives now in New York City, so she's coming to perform that piano concerto. So that's our opening concert. We're very excited about it.
Oh, that is a great way to open the season. I mean, you know, you go big or stay home, right?
That's right.
And you are continuing the season with something really special. And I know that whenever I see a Disney logo, I know that there's been a lot of groundwork laid ahead of time to make it happen. Talk about that one.
Yes, we have to be approved by Disney, and we are. And we're bringing Disney in concert. And it's just fabulous. All the wonderful music from all the years of Disney productions. And we have 4 Broadway singers and beautiful animated presentations to go along with it. And it's just going to be so good.
It sounds wonderful. So Hector, give us a hint, what kind of music?
Well, music from animated films, as Marguerite mentioned, including Beauty and the Beast, Frozen, The Little Mermaid, The Lion King, and Princess and the Frog, among other things. And so it's all of a combination of things, like Marguerite said. It's just not only video and still pictures, but also 4 singers and the gorgeous music of those films.
I'm excited. I'll be there. Absolutely.
Good.
And believe it or not, there's more. So for the rest of the season, can you give us some more of the highlights coming up?
Oh, sure. We have our Christmas concert, which was one of the Irving highlights. We featured a very well-known vocal group called Acoustics. And then it continues in February with the pre-Valentine's concert. We do the Scheherazade, 1001 Nights. And then in March we have the 3 Mexican tenors. You've heard of the 3 tenors. These are the 3 Mexican tenors. And then we finish with Beethoven's Ode to Joy, the Beethoven's 9th Symphony, with 3 choirs, 4 soloists, and the orchestra.
Oh my gosh.
Full schedule.
Absolutely. And what a great season. You sort of start with one of the great romantic composers of all times, and then ending with Beethoven.
That's right.
This is good.
This is good.
It's really good.
So folks, you won't want to miss Irving Symphony's season premiere, All Tchaikovsky, on Saturday, October 10th at 8 p.m. in Carpenter Performance Hall. Call 972-252-ARTS for ticket information.
Irving Cares celebrates a big anniversary this year for its signature fundraiser, The Great Harvest. Teddy Story joins us with details. Now, most of us know Irving Cares has been around in Irving for about 57, almost 60 years.
Right.
But The Great Harvest, that got started 25 years ago. Tell us about the very beginning.
1991 was the very first Great Harvest, and back then it was called Christmas in July. It was in the backyard of Gerald and Joyce Stabley's home, and it was a barbecue. The Elks Lodge cooked the barbecue. We hauled every stick of furniture there. We hauled all the ice chests, every table, every chair, and it was a party for about 50. That event raised about $7,000 or $8,000. This year, we're at the Irving Convention Center expecting 400 people, and our goal is 300,000. So we're really excited of all the growth that we've had in this gala. It's, you know, a gala is really a lot of hard work, but when you have such great people working with you to get it done, you don't mind doing it at all.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's always surprising to me when I think about those very humble beginnings that the event has done as much as it has in terms of growing, but it's because you've got people in this community who care about other people.
Yes.
And that, you know, it just makes all the difference in the world. So let's talk a little bit about what's planned for the special 25th anniversary event. You've got a chairman's auction.
Right, right. We wanted to commemorate the efforts that those people did starting back 25 years ago. We have raised over $2 million through this gala. Wow. So this year we asked all of the former chairpersons to come back. We asked them to attend the party, and about 10 of them are coming. And they have also donating items to the chairman's auction, which is, you know, things especially from them that they designed and put together just for the Great Harvest this year.
Wow, so it sounds like you've got some pretty exciting things on that auction.
We do. The auctions at the Great Harvest are always really cool, but this year we have some really great things. We have a lot of travel. There's a trip to Canada, to Crested Butte. There is Port Aransas. There is Scottsdale with golf. There's Alto, New Mexico. Really, really great things for food, because, you know, the food pantry is a wonderful tie-in for us. Mm-hmm. There's Cafe on the Green has donated a chef's dinner where Chef Christoph is there, and he does the pairings and all the things like that. We have great stuff for your home, for your kids, for your animals, for your sports. We have the Mavericks, we have the horse races, we have the Stars, we have the Rangers. Just so much cool stuff.
That is great.
And if that isn't enough, there's something called a silver ticket.
Yes, yes.
What's that about?
The silver ticket, we're going to sell only 100 tickets at $100 each. So this is it's a special item, but what you win is your choice of any of the items off the live auction.
Okay.
So for $100, you could win this trip staying at the Fairmont in Canada at Lake Louise, or you know, one of the trips to Key West, any of the items on the live auction. We also have a Rolex watch. We have a beautiful diamond pendant. So many really cool things.
It sounds amazing, doesn't it?
Very cool, very cool.
I'll be there with my $100.
And we'll give you a blinky ring when you buy that $100 ticket so that you can flaunt it to others and say, "Where's your ring?" And you must get one.
I like it.
Yes.
Get your tickets in advance to the 25th anniversary Great Harvest by calling 972-721-9181 so you won't miss an evening to care at the Irving Convention Center, Friday, September 25th. The fun starts at 7 p.m.
That's right.
Irving celebrates timeless beauty with the annual Ms. Mature Irving Pageant. Pageant Director Pat Davenport and reigning Ms. Mature Trish Patel have a preview for us of this year's event. Ladies, it is always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Pat, you've done this pageant now for quite a few years, but you always bring so much joy to it. What are we looking forward to this year?
I think the theme this year is really fun. We're doing a lot with Paris and fashion. So I think the set should look pretty special, and it's kind of fun.
Yeah. I like the idea of these beautiful ladies, and you, of course, and all of the previous Ms. Matures try to show up for the pageant. A lovely idea of sending lovely ladies to Paris. I'm just there. I love it.
Well, as the reigning Miss Mature Irving, how did you spend the year?
Oh, it was a wonderful year. I met so many wonderful people. I was able to attend all the special functions over at the Heritage Senior Center, which was just so much fun. I was able to placed the wreath at the memorial services on Memorial Day. And of course, we honored Pat for all her hard work at the pageants in January, and it was a surprise.
Yes.
So it's just been a fantastic year. I'm really sorry to see it end.
I know. You've had a fantastic and very eventful year. Yes. Would you encourage others to get involved with the pageant?
Oh, yes. It's an experience that every woman should really go through. Just the camaraderie, the encouragement. I mean, when I started, I said, I don't have any talent. My talent is I don't have any. But I did. I did a dance, and Pat coaxed me and pulled my speech out of me, and she's encouraging, and you don't have to worry about anything. There's just such a group of women that want to help you and support you and make sure that you are the best you can be.
Awesome.
It is. It really is. It's a lovely sisterhood that you guys develop as pageant winners, and I know that that's something that you've really fostered over the years, Pat.
Yes.
So when you're looking to bring contestants in, like Trish, what is it that you say to them, and what do they need to know to get involved?
Well, there's a couple of things. You have to be 60 or older, and you have to have lived in Irving for at least 1 year. Beyond that, I have no talent is one of the most common things I hear. Yeah. I tell them that's what I do. So what are your hobbies? Let's start there so we can think of something that'll be fun for them.
That's lovely. What a great idea. So sisterhood and confidence building, you've got everything that you need in the Ms. Mature pageant. So you can cheer on your favorite lovely senior lady on Friday, October 2nd at 7 p.m. in Carpenter Performance Hall.
Scott Churchill has been busy this month as well. He returns to About Towne with a look at the USA Film Festival screening, Sicario, as well as Johnny Depp's new drama, Black Mass, and 2 new documentaries.
FBI!
You want to be a part of this?
Do we get an opportunity of the men responsible for today?
The men who are really responsible for today.
Been to Juarez before?
We're going to El Paso, right? You're not American.
The USA Film Festival September free preview screening was Sicario, starring Emily Blunt, Josh Brolin, and Benicio del Toro, with local film actors Julio Cedillo and Matthew Tompkins in attendance. Sicario, which means hitman in drug cartel parlance, is a taut thriller about a courageous but naive FBI agent played by Emily Blunt, who is roped into a black operation approved by high-level elected officials. Brolin allegedly ad-libbed much of his part, and to me it seemed that he brought a perhaps too cavalier attitude to his role as an agent for hire, operating with a sense of impunity. Perhaps his actions as an actor on the set were a way of his getting into character as a mercenary who does things his own way. Blunt's by-the-book FBI agent knocks heads with Brolin while trying to figure out, along with the audience, who Del Toro's character really is. For information on the USA Film Festival and its free member screenings each month, you can Google USA Film Festival for more information.
Brian, take the bag. I want you to have it. Yeah, I want you to have it.
To do the hit on the wheel?
No. That's $20,000 for you to not do the hit.
In Black Mass, Johnny Depp attempts to show some range in his acting repertoire, but unfortunately does not have the gravitas to come across as one of the FBI's most wanted criminals in Boston history, James Whitey Bulger. Instead, he comes across more like one of the Bowery boys in the old Hollywood movies of the 30s. He just can't get that smirk off his face that we all know so well from Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, you should go now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
One of the best films playing in the Metroplex right now is Meru, a documentary film shot by mountain climbers who twice attempt and finally succeed at climbing a peak in the Himalayas, known by climbers of Mount Everest to be more difficult than Everest itself. The mountain's name is Meru, and the story as it unfolds is a nail-biting experience for the audience, who is literally taken along many steps of the way on the ascent to the summit. Some of the shots are quite dizzying, though none quite as much as the new IMAX release, Everest, which was shot in 3D using IMAX cameras that were dragged up into the Himalayas. I'm always ambivalent about the use of 3D in IMAX theaters. For me, the pleasure of stepping into an enormous IMAX house is to marvel at the size of the screen itself. In the case of Everest, this entire panorama is reduced to about the size of an aquarium sitting on a bookshelf when viewed through the annoying 3D glasses, which both darken and shrink the image noticeably. Yes, you will feel dizzy as the camera looks down upon the rest of the Himalayas from the vantage points along the way, but I'd rather have seen this in 2D. Nonetheless, this one is worth checking out.
That was the 137th person to climb Everest. The 5 of us on the summit were the only 5 people on the mountain above 21,300 feet.
You go into the mountains, you're dealing with survival, staying alive, making decisions that directly related to your well-being. You realize that all that baggage that we carry around with us have all been left behind. You become very refreshed, almost like a rebirth.
Go up there with great intentions, maybe there's a little hubris, maybe there's a little escapism, and you deal with something that's so much grander than anything you could ever comprehend, and yet you don't really know that until it consumes you.
Look at me. Don't do that to me again, eh?
For me, Everest is a metaphor for any kind of ambition. You might ask, why do you need to climb Everest? And nobody can really answer that.
Everest is currently playing at Regal MacArthur Marketplace. Check your local listings for showtimes and theater information.
When people think of major landmarks here in Irving, the first one that comes to mind is the magnificent Mustangs of Las Colinas. The sculpture is celebrating a significant anniversary this year, and we have Mary Higby and sculptor Robert Glenn here to give us a preview. I am so thrilled to see you both. I don't get to see you as frequently as I see Mary, so I'm really glad to see you.
Well, thank you, thank you.
It's wonderful to have you both here. So Mary, a significant anniversary. Which one are we talking about here?
Well, last year was our 30th anniversary, but because of construction on O'Connor, we chose to postpone it. So this year we have what we call the 30+1. And we have had such fun with it. The times, the price, everything evolves around that 30+1.
Well, it's been 30+1 years, Mr. Robert Glenn. Glad to have you here. When you reflect over the years, what does the sculpture mean to you?
Well, you know, what's interesting about that is there's good things and bad things, because 30 years, 31, I'm 31 years older than I was. And that's a lot of time. Anyway, what I'm amazed about is how it's become a centerpiece in Las Colinas and, in fact, much of the world. But I think the cohesion that it's formed amongst people in the area as a centerpiece, for me, is very flattering, and I'm honored to be a part of that whole little thing that's there.
It really is. It's lovely to be able to drive around town and to see the many places that people say, oh, Mustangs, or look at this image. And it's all because of this incredible thing that you did 31 years ago. It's kind of wonderful. So Mary, tell us a little bit about what you've got planned. I know there's a ton.
There is a ton of things, and the full schedule is on our website, themustangsoflascolinas.com. But on the evening of the 24th, there'll be a conversation with Robert Glenn at City Hall at 7 p.m. That's the only one that's kind of straight up time, not the 7:31. At 7 p.m. with Cathy Whiteman of ICTN.
That would be me. Okay, yes. I got it.
And then on Saturday, we will really have a full day, as you can imagine, because it's open house. He'll be there to greet the visitors. And then at 4 o'clock, the dignitaries will take the stage, make some announcements, followed by the music of Dave Tanner Band.
Fantastic.
All of it's free. Did I say free?
Oh, free. That's a good price, and it's always good to mention free.
Yes.
And that's a busy schedule ahead for you. What are you looking forward to most?
Well, it's hard for me to keep a control of everything that's going on, but
I can imagine.
Mary here has got everything pretty well organized. My partner Sue is here as well. We're both from Tanzania, obviously, but I just look forward to the interest that's being shown everywhere and being able to talk about it and reflect ideas as time goes on. So to me, the whole thing's quite exciting.
Absolutely.
Well, I think the entire community is going to be really excited. So for you to know more, you can hear Robert Glenn's story on Thursday, September 24th at 7. p.m. at City Hall, and then enjoy a full day of activities celebrating the 30+1 anniversary of the Mustangs at Las Colinas. Now, you'll go to Williams Square on Saturday, September 26th. The fun kicks off at 1:31 p.m. and be ready for a full day of fun. Call 972-869-9047 or visit mustangsoflascolinas.com for more information.
The Irving Schools Foundation is hosting John Maxwell's Live to Lead Leadership Conference. Crystal Scanio and Mark Finner join us with details on how you can participate. Mark, it's good to have you here with us.
Thanks for having me.
Start me from the very beginning. Who is John Maxwell?
Well, John Maxwell is really the leadership authority of our time. Both Inc. magazine and the American Management Association have nominated John, or really named John, the most influential leader of 2014. He's authored over 80 books on leadership. He's reached millions of people, and we're going to be able to bring him as well as some other speakers to Irving to make an impact on our community.
Now for this Live to Lead conference, correct?
Correct.
So when is that taking place?
It's October 9th. It's going to take place at the Singley Academy. It'll start at 7:15 in the morning and it'll go till 2.
So what can people expect from this conference?
Well, it'll start in the morning and it'll open up with John. And then he's going to have three other speakers with him. He's going to have Patrick Lencioni. He's going to talk about corporate leadership. And then he's also going to have Valerie Burton. She used to be with TD Jakes, and she's going to talk. She's got a very inspirational message. And then he's also going to do an interview with the COO of Microsoft. So it's really going to be a great day.
Wow, it does. It sounds like quite a day. And as you said, Mark, you're going to start in the morning, but then this is not going to end. You kind of going on all day. Finish up the rest of the day for us, Crystal.
Sure. So after the live simulcast, we'll have the students from Singley Academy prepare a lunch, an Italian-inspired lunch, and serve all of the attendees, followed by a panel of local experts in Irving. So we'll have some pro football players, we'll have some local leaders that will sit on this panel and share some local things that they're doing in a leadership way.
That's fantastic. I want to know about the student impact, because you guys are actually, as a part of your mission, you know, trying to make sure that you include kids in all of what you're doing. So what are you doing with...
Sure, this is huge. Mark Fenner and his company, the Rise Performance Group, have actually donated 500 seats for our students in Irving ISU to attend. So all of our seniors that want to attend will be coming to the auditorium and they'll watch this live simulcast. Additionally, all of the proceeds from this event will come to the Irving Schools Foundation for a scholarship for our seniors.
That's incredible.
So it's a huge impact to our kids. We're really excited.
Yeah, that is great. So before we let you go, Mark, I just want to ask this kind of piece of the puzzle, because there's so much talk about leadership now, what a leader is, what qualities a leader possesses, and this whole idea of what's a leader versus a manager. Are you guys going to address any of that in the conference?
Yeah, I mean, really our fundamental philosophy about leadership is it's not about a title, it's not about a position, it's not about power. Leadership is about influence. And so the focus of this conference is going to be on intentional leadership. So how do we become a force for good? So how do we use our influence to make things better? And if you think about it, if everybody does their part in working together and helping each other, seeking to better understand each other and adding value to each other, then it really makes our community and our workplaces and our schools a much better place to be.
Oh, I tell you what, I like that idea of a leader better than a lot of the other things I've heard. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
The Live to Lead Leadership Conference is Friday, October 9th at Singley Academy. Registration begins at 7 a.m.
About Town viewers will recognize Stacy Spencer as a frequent guest host, but today she's here wearing a different hat. Producer and host of Teen Time. Good to see you again.
And thank you for having me, Cathy. I love it.
So tell me about Teen Time. This is a passion for you that's been close to your heart all the way back to Florida, right?
Absolutely. 16 years of a tradition developing positive television programming for teens. Started out as an inner classroom character building concept that had a curriculum with it, and then going on to cable satellites around the country and classrooms around the country. But we always do the 3 E's: educate, encourage, and empower every single youth every single day, every single time.
That is wonderful.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, in the Dallas market, you guys have an outlet now. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, there is actually one, is Freedom Radio is carrying some of the audio from the shows. So what they did was they took it and spliced it up, and that goes all over the world. There's a couple of other mediums that are carrying the signal that we just recently signed on to. Hot TV is one of them, and it goes all the way down to Las Vegas and San Antonio, and then Houston, and then definitely in the Dallas Metroplex. So we're honored about that as well.
That's great.
Awesome. And I'm hearing that Toyota of Irving has found out about Teen Time. Yay! Tell us more about that. I think there's a special recognition that's come your way.
Yes. This month we are the charity of the month, which is very good. So what that means is it's kind of like a Wheels of Success program for people that go in, get their cars serviced, buy a car, have something done with the oil. A portion of those proceeds come to Teen Time to help us with the Seminar of Hope, another programmatic program that we want to develop into this marketplace, but it takes a certain seed for that. Now let me back up for just a moment on the Toyota piece. People that want to give, they can always go to our online giving as well, because some people like to donate, www.teentime.com. or they can come to us direct, but if they go through Toyota, only a portion goes there, but when you go online, 100% of your donation goes back for your tax write-off letter.
Hey, super. And I know that's not all you have going on.
No.
Seminar of Hope.
Yes.
What's that about? Tell us more about that.
You know, around the country and even here in the Dallas marketplace, there has been a heightened risk and rise of the dropout rate, the bullying and that piece. So we are trying to integrate this program in this marketplace. We won that award back over in Tampa Bay for the aspects of curtailing referrals in school so that kids don't escalate into the juvie penal system, which creates recidivism, which taxpayers end up paying a lot of money, and then they end up behind bars where you have all these creative, talented, minded people that just got involved with the wrong group, the wrong crowd at the wrong time, but they were still a good person. So we want to be here for that.
Awesome. So you want to get in there and work some prevention.
Work some prevention, yes.
That's wonderful.
Prevention and
So
intervention.
just to make sure that everybody understands what Teen Time is,
Yes.
it's spelled a little bit differently.
Yes,
All right.
TYME. There's two sides. There's the program, which is just Teens TV, and then there is the programmatic side, which is the Seminar of Hope, which is one of our premier anti-bullying prevention programs.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much for being here today,
Thank
Stacey.
you.
To learn more, please visit teentime, that's TYME.com, and be sure to go and visit Toyota of Irving.
The Irving Art Association presents the 14th Annual Wildlife and Domestic Animal Art Exhibit at J.C. Park through September 24th. Here's a look and a list of ways for you to take a walk on the wild side about town.
And here are some other exciting events happening about town. The entertainment series of Irving kicks off their 60th anniversary season with Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Bluegrass Band on Friday, September 25th at 7:30 p.m. in Carpenter Performance Hall. And the Irving Public Library kicks off the annual community reading event, One Book, One Irving, at Friday Night Library on October 2nd. The fun begins at 7 p.m. and lasts until 11 at the South Irving Library.
The Irving Symphonic Band kicks off their 2015-2016 season with the Sounds of Fall. The concert is October 4th at 3 p.m. in Carpenter Performance Hall. And the Irving Black Arts Council presents the Literary Cafe on Saturday, October 10th at 7 p.m. in the Dupree Theater. For tickets to all these events, call 972-252-ARTS.
We want to take a moment to acknowledge the passing of one of Irving's brightest lights, Norma Stanton. For more than 50 years, Norma made significant contributions to all facets of life in this community. She had leadership roles in the PTA, the League of Women Voters, Irving Library Board, public health initiatives, and the Irving Arts Center. Norma was elected 4 times to the Irving City Council and was Irving's first representative on the dartboard, including a term as its president. She carved out time to serve while raising a family and creating bonds of friendship throughout this community. And as a community, we mourn her loss. And that's all for this edition of About Town. Thanks for joining us.
Please be sure to tune in next time for a look at some cool tech tools from AT&T Marketplace and highlights from the Great Harvest and the 30+1 celebration of the Mustangs at Las Colinas.
We'll leave you tonight with more from the Justin Exit Band in performance at La Cima's Charity Classic. For About Town, I'm Cathy Whiteman.
And I'm Derrick Thompson. Have a great evening, About Town.